Yes, joined by United States Senator John Husted of the great state of Ohio. Senator, I'm still licking my wounds over the Cavs getting tossed out of the playoffs early. So let's turn to politics. What do you make of reconciliation? This is your first go around with this. How's it working out?
Look, everybody realizes we need to get this done to prevent a giant tax increase on working families and small businesses. The House is doing its work. It's making progress. I'm hopeful they'll get it passed next week, and then the Senate can do its work, and then we can deliver a big, beautiful bill to America.
Now, are you on any of the committees that have jurisdiction over a portion of the reconciliation bill, Senator?
Yeah, some portions on the Help Committee with healthcare and some with Environment and Public Works. But a lot of that work will be done in the Finance Committee. And I'm not on
Yeah,
that. But
I talked to Senator Crapo last week, but Medicaid would come to you then, and that's a big sticking point in the House. Do you think you've got the majority of votes on the committee for the Medicaid reforms?
So it depends on what's in them. I think we all are united in the fact that we need to save Medicaid. And to save Medicaid means you have to make it sustainable from a financial point of view. We want to make sure that children, the elderly, people with disabilities have this program available to them, the people who are really in need. But to do that, we're going to have to say to able-bodied, healthy working or healthy Americans that you're going to have to do something in return for these benefits. We need to put a work requirement in there. We need to help create some incentives to deliver these services more cost effectively. Also, as part of thinking about this, remember, we have a nation with a $37 trillion national debt, multi-trillion dollar annual deficits. We're paying $1 trillion on interest on the national debt. So we have to be smart about how we do this. We have to get costs under control. We have to create savings, and we have to deliver the tax portion of the bill. So that's the big beautiful bill in a highlight. But I think we'll get the Medicaid accomplished.
The bad news is you've got very little seniority. The good news, everybody's vote counts when it's this close. Is there anything that you're dialed in on for the state of Ohio that you really want in the final big beautiful bill?
Well, I will tell you that anything that helps restore the work ethic to America and fiscal sanity to the nation, I think that helps everybody in Ohio. Ohio is a working class state. It's a state where it's just important that we help small businesses. We help working class families with the tax portion of the bill. But I'm hopeful that in the long run we'll be able to reform the SNAP program so that we're helping people who are lower income get access to healthier foods. That I hope that we reform the welfare system so that people don't experience this benefit cliff and that they can literally have a pathway to self-sufficiency. Those are some of the finance and policy components of it that I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to advance. I'm working through this new process with the Senate rules about what we're allowed to do, but those things I think are consistent with consistently things that Ohioans care about.
Yeah, every senator has a first year. Mitch McConnell or John Husted. Everyone's got a first year to deal with reconciliation. Welcome to yours. I am wondering, what do you make of President Trump's process through the Middle East? It looks like an almost perfect trip. I'm a little bit skeptical of the deal with Syria, but how do you make of it?
I think it's more than any president has accomplished in the Middle East in quite some time. I mean, he is pursuing peace through prosperity. If you can align nations' economic interests with one another, then you have a chance to do great things. And the idea that America will have a lot of allies, hopefully in the end, in the Middle East, gives us more leverage in that very dangerous part of the world, which I hope will end up leading to a non-nuclear Iran in every sense of the word, that we can dismantle both their weapons and their energy program in the end and make the whole region much safer. And I think he's building the goodwill and the leverage to maybe be able to do that.
I think you're right. Now, in Ohio, we have a lot of friends of Israel, mostly in Cleveland, in Cincinnati, and Columbus, but a lot of friends of Israel, including me and my entire group of friends up in northeastern Ohio. What do you make of the people who are attempting to say this trip is cutting Israel out of the deal? Because I don't see it that way at all.
Israel is America's best ally in the Middle East, and none of this changes that. But I think it's a president who's saying that you just don't have to pick one friend, that you can have multiple friends, and when you can bring your friends together, good things happen. And I think that's what he's trying to accomplish with this.
Now, Senator, you got reelection in 18 months. Very quick question. Do you expect the economy to be going on all cylinders by November of 2026?
I do. I think that we're going to get these trade issues settled that will reestablish our trade relationships with the rest of the world and China in a very fair way. That will lead to a lot of investment in our state, a lot of jobs and prosperity, and we will be, that America First agenda will be leading to prosperity for the people of Ohio and America.
Senator John Husted, good to see you.